Far above the frozen mountains, where the winter clouds drifted like silver rivers across the sky, something extraordinary happened every year. On the coldest nights of winter, invisible angels passed silently above the world. No one in the tiny snowy village of Bellmare knew they were there. No one except an old tailor named Elias. Every evening, long after the villagers locked their doors and extinguished their lanterns, a single golden light still glowed from the small tailor shop near the edge of the forest. Inside, Elias sat beside his sewing table beneath warm candlelight, carefully stitching feathers no human eyes could see. The villagers whispered about him often. Some called him strange. Others believed grief had finally stolen his mind. Children pointed toward his frosted windows and laughed whenever soft glowing feathers drifted from his chimney into the snowy night sky. But Elias never answered their whispers. He simply continued sewing. Because every winter, the angels came to him. Sometimes they arrived as faint shimmering shadows near the rooftops. Sometimes the sound of their wings brushed softly against the icy wind outside his shop. And sometimes, when the moon was bright enough, Elias could see their enormous silver wings glowing faintly beyond the clouds. Years earlier, Bellmare had once been filled with laughter for him. His daughter Clara had filled every corner of the tailor shop with music and warmth. She loved watching the snow fall beside the window while Elias stitched coats for the villagers. And every night before bed, Clara would ask him the same question: if angels are real, who fixes their wings when they get hurt? Elias would smile gently and tap his sewing needle against the table. Perhaps someone very patient. But one winter, Clara became terribly ill. The candles burned through endless nights while snow buried the village deeper and deeper beneath white silence. And despite every prayer whispered beneath the stars, Clara slipped away before spring arrived. After that winter, the laughter vanished from the tailor shop. The music stopped. And Elias became a man who spoke mostly to the snow. Then, on the first winter after Clara's passing, something impossible happened. A soft knock echoed at his door long after midnight. When Elias opened it, icy wind rushed inside carrying glowing silver feathers through the air. And standing beyond the doorway was a towering figure wrapped in moonlight. An angel. One of its great wings had been torn badly by the frozen mountain storms. The angel said nothing. It simply bowed its head quietly. Elias stared in stunned silence. Then, without fear, he stepped aside and welcomed it inside. That night, he repaired the wing carefully beside the fire, and before dawn arrived, the angel touched Elias gently on the shoulder and disappeared into the sky once more. From that winter onward, the angels returned every year. Some came with broken feathers. Others arrived exhausted from the freezing storms above the mountains. Elias repaired every wing in silence. Though the villagers mocked him, he never stopped. Because helping the angels gave him something grief could not destroy: purpose. Then came the fiercest winter Bellmare had ever known. The skies darkened for weeks. Blizzards swallowed roads and buried homes beneath endless snow. The winds howled through the mountains like restless spirits. Even the villagers who once mocked Elias stopped leaving their homes after sunset. One stormy night, as thunder rolled above the frozen rooftops, Elias sat alone beside the fire sewing quietly beneath candlelight. Suddenly crash. Something slammed onto the roof of his shop. The entire building trembled violently. Snow poured from the ceiling beams. Elias grabbed his lantern and hurried outside into the storm. The wind nearly knocked him backward. Snow swirled so fiercely he could barely see. Then he noticed a shape lying near the frozen pine trees behind his shop. A young angel. Unlike the others, this one looked almost human. She appeared no older than 16. Her silver hair shimmered faintly beneath the snow, and her pale blue eyes trembled with fear. But what shocked Elias most was her wings. Or rather the lack of them. Only torn feathered stubs remained behind her shoulders. The young angel looked at him desperately before collapsing unconscious into the snow. Elias carried her gently inside. For days, the storm trapped them together within the little tailor shop. The young angel rarely spoke at first. She simply watched Elias quietly while he repaired old coats beside the fire. Sometimes she stared sadly at the empty chair that once belonged to Clara. And sometimes Elias noticed her touching the faded blue scarf hanging near the window. The same scarf Clara had worn every winter. One evening, while snowstorms rattled the windows violently, the young angel finally spoke. She used to sing here. Elias froze slowly. He turned toward her. What did you say? The angel lowered her eyes softly. Your daughter. She used to sing while you worked. The room fell silent except for the crackling fire. Elias felt his heart tighten painfully. "How could you know that?" The young angel hesitated. Then she reached carefully beneath her cloak and pulled out something small wrapped in silver cloth. A tiny wooden snowbird. Clara's favorite toy. Elias stared at it in disbelief. His hands trembled as he took it carefully. He remembered carving it for Clara when she was very young. The angel's voice grew softer. "The night your daughter passed away, her final wish reached the skies." Tears shimmered in Elias's eyes. "She wished that you would never feel alone again." The storm outside suddenly seemed very far away. The young angel explained that Clara's kindness had touched even the heavens themselves. For years, angels had watched Elias quietly from above as he continued helping others despite his sorrow, and when the winter storms disturbed the young angel's wings, she had been sent to Bellmare for one reason: to bring Elias hope before his own heart froze beneath grief forever. For the first time in many years, Elias wept openly. Not from sadness, but from the unbearable warmth returning slowly to a heart that had been cold for far too long. The next morning, the storm worsened. The sky darkened almost completely. And then a young angel collapsed beside the fire. Her fading wings glowed weakly. Without fully healed wings, she would never survive the journey home above the clouds. Elias looked toward his sewing table. Then toward Clara's old blue scarf. Slowly, he understood what he had to do. All through the night, while the storm raged outside, Elias worked harder than he ever had before. He stitched silver feathers carefully beside golden thread. He sewed warmth into every broken piece, memory into every fold, love into every feather. As dawn approached, the new wings finally shimmered complete beneath candlelight. They were unlike anything Elias had ever created. Beautiful, soft, almost alive. The young angel opened her eyes in amazement as Elias gently fastened the wings onto her shoulders. Golden light suddenly filled the tiny tailor shop. The walls trembled softly. Outside, the storm clouds began to part. Then something miraculous happened. Hundreds of glowing angels appeared above Bellmare. The villagers rushed from their homes in stunned silence as the skies filled with silver wings stretching endlessly across the heavens. Warm light poured across the frozen village. Snow sparkled like falling stars. The young angel stepped toward the doorway before turning back toward Elias. "You repaired more than wings," she whispered softly. "You repaired what sorrow tried to destroy." Then she handed him something small. A glowing white feather for whenever the winter feels too quiet. The young angel spread her new wings. And with one graceful motion, she soared upward into the brilliant golden sky. The angels followed behind her like rivers of light flowing through the clouds. The villagers stood speechless as warmth spread across Bellmare for the first time in years. And at the center of it all stood Elias. No longer a lonely old tailor hidden behind frosted windows, but a man whose kindness had touched even the heavens. That evening, the villagers filled his tiny shop with laughter once more. Children gathered beside the fire while snow drifted softly outside. And for the first time since Clara's passing, Elias smiled without sadness hiding behind it. Later that night, he sat quietly beside the window watching the stars above Bellmare shimmer gently across the sky. The glowing feather rested beside him. And somewhere far above the clouds, faint silver wings crossed the moonlight once more. But this time, Elias no longer watched them with grief, only peace. Because he finally understood something Clara had known all along. Even the broken wings of heaven can heal when touched with love.